In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you. In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Good morning everybody and welcome to the latest Elite FPL podcast with myself, Stevo. It's the Elite FPL breakfast show as we like to call it, and yet I try and do these shows as often as I can. It's pretty difficult when you're working a full-time job basically, but in this case I can actually do it. So welcome to everybody that's joining us. I'm not going to lie, in the next 3 minutes I'm going to have to go for a quick break. In fact, you know what? I'm going to give you a little clip, SMZ or Daily Llama. I've got to go and put my washing into the tumble dryer out there, so I'll be gone for about 30 seconds, but we'll be back. But on the screen right now, right at this precise moment in time, the big news from yesterday is the fact that Kevin De Bruyne will not be playing at the weekend. That's right, Kevin De Bruyne is not playing at the weekend. So, what on earth do we do? Well, I've just seen somebody in the chat, Robin Sam, mentioning, is this a good time to free hit? Well, you tell me guys, because I'm interested to know your thoughts on that particular thought process. This particular game week has got some excellent fixtures, and we'll go through that all in a minute. A friend of mine, Mr. Reed, he actually used his free hit chip 2 weeks ago and it paid off absolutely brilliantly. In fact, I would say that it was the perfect time to use a free hit. Sometimes free hits, bench boosts, they're actually better off being used in a single game week sometimes than they are double game weeks, because double game weeks are an absolute waste of space. In my opinion, sometimes I think a lot of the time, maybe the chips should be used in single game weeks rather than double game weeks. But yeah, also, of course, last night, we all know what happened with Tottenham, 7-2. I don't really care about the Champions League, but what I do care about, however, is the fact that how Tottenham are performing as of 2019. They're a shambles. They've lost 10 games this year alone. As Football 365 put it, to put that in perspective, they, simply put, have lost one less game than Newcastle. So to reiterate that point, Tottenham have lost one less game than Newcastle. That is pathetic. And I'm now thinking, and James on Planet FPL, he asked the question, what do we think about the Tottenham West Ham podcast that they're going to be doing? Do you have any questions? And I simply said, well, yes. My question is this. Although I was late, I found out that it doesn't even matter, but the point being is that they tweeted out whenever. I was late with the question, but someone had already pretty much asked the question, which is, are Tottenham in danger of losing their third place spot? Champions League, in other words, spot. And I think there is a real concern. I think with Leicester, the way they're performing so far this season, I think that there's a real danger of possibly them jumping into it. I'm not really concerned about West Ham. I think West Ham, I just don't think that they're good enough to be challenging top four, albeit they're, third or fourth at the moment. Chelsea at the moment, defensively wise, a bit like Arsenal, they're a bunch of clowns. I think they're slightly better than Arsenal, but once Arsenal get to full strength, I think that I think once Arsenal and Chelsea get to full strength, I think they're the two teams that really will be at the moment, should be challenging for top four. But right now, as we all know, it's West Ham and Leicester. Leicester's to lose as of now, albeit we're only in game week. Well, we're just past game week 7 and game week 8. Another talking point from last night was the fact that Aguero started. Does that mean Jesus starts at the weekend? Jason already put out a tweet yesterday going into panic mode about whether he starts or not. And Jason, free hit? Who knows? But yeah, it's a very, very interesting time to do it. And on that note, I'm going to go for a quick break. I'll be literally gone for 30 seconds. Be right back. Stay tuned. And we're back. Thank you for staying tuned for the last minute or so. I just had to quickly go and put my washing in the tumble dryer, but whatever. So yeah, there's a lot of talking points as ever. If you want to join myself live, get into the Discord waiting room. If you're wanting to put up your team, please put it in the team screenshots. That's just above the waiting room. Because I don't want to be going into the Rate My Team where there's about 500 million teams in there. I'm really not interested in looking for it. So please, there's a specific menu in the Discord. It's team screenshots. It's literally above the waiting room. It's not difficult to find. So please, please, please put your teams in there and we can go over that on there for all the dilemmas that are ahead of Game Week 8. And of course, it is Game Week 8 approaching. We're on Wednesday. Be interested to hear your thoughts about the fixtures upcoming. Let's just quickly bring them up. Let's just find out what's specifically happening this particular game week. Not many games on Saturday, and how ironic's this? I'm actually able to do Soccer Saturday on Saturday, and there's hardly any games. So on Saturday we've got Brighton versus Spurs. Well, we all know Spurs' away form at the moment is an absolute shambles. And that's the word of the day, shambles. And I can actually see them potentially messing up there. And it could be 1-1, maybe a Brighton win. We then got Burnley, 3 o'clock, we've got Burnley, Everton, Liverpool, Leicester, Norwich, Aston Villa, Watford, Sheffield United. And then at night, The evening kickoff is West Ham versus Crystal Palace. So I don't know if Jason's able to join me on Saturday. I'm pretty sure he is. So it'll be myself and Jason doing Soccer Saturday. Again, we're only covering, 4 games? Absolutely useless. But yeah, we're covering 4 games. And then obviously we won't be covering the evening games. Absolutely hopeless. Then moving on to Sunday, it's the big ones. We've got Arsenal versus... We've got 3 2 o'clock kickoffs. Arsenal versus Bournemouth, Man City versus Wolves, and Southampton versus Chelsea. And then we've got the 4:30 kickoff in Newcastle, Man United. And if Man United can't keep a clean sheet against Newcastle, then quite literally I just give up. Well, I've given up on Man United full stop, but I give up on Man United for eternity because they are a shambles. Of course, we had Man United versus Arsenal on Monday, and myself and Jason did a stream throughout the whole show. And for anybody that joined us that evening, I know the game was on and everything, but there's about 110 people watching us throughout the whole stream, and nice one. That was absolutely fantastic for joining myself and Jason. If you want to watch that on the replay, by all means, just to see Jason's reaction to when Aubameyang scores. But as ever, surprise, surprise, did I get a green arrow? Nah. I got 10 points on the night, but did I get a green arrow? Of course I bloody didn't. No. I got a red arrow, so I'm still continuously going down in the ranks, overall ranks. But I did get a green arrow in the Cash Mini League, would you believe? The Cash Mini League, which you guys are part of. The 98 people in there, so the other 97 of you that are my rivals, I got a green arrow. And I know John Harris, you private messaged me the other day on Twitter, and simply put, you said that I've finally taken over you, and the simple answer is yes, I have. But to be honest with you, it's such small margins at the moment. We'll just quickly highlight the Cash Mini League right now. Right now at top we've got Marlon Moore, second Andrew Fong, third is Wayne Hanley, and fourth is now Ian Rose. Ian Rose has now moved up to fourth. Our man Dylan being pushed out after Sunday night, but Charlie there, One Rovers blog at the moment, he's in chat. So Charlie, who's One Rovers blog, he's there at the moment. He's moved up to 7th spot. He got 52 points. I'm all the way down in 71st place. It's absolutely pathetic. I have actually caught up with Jason. I'm now only, I think I'm 14 points behind Jason. But these are the players that I'm above, and I don't recognise anybody, no disrespect, but the people that are below me, the only ones I'm recognising is Delvin Vaz, Alex Volo, the one that creates the majority, as of late he's been a bit ill, I believe, so he's unable to do our thumbnails, but get well soon, Alex. But basically Alex is a bit ill at the moment, so we can't actually produce our thumbnails. I don't recognise any names whatsoever. Vince Chapman's down below me, Phil Potter, and there's John Harris. And Aussie Boy's there. Aussie Boy in the UK at the moment. Welcome. You're lucky today. I believe you're in London. It's a nice sunny day. Very cold, but it's a nice sunny day today. So it'll be good to, I would say, get in the sights now while you can. Because yesterday the weather was atrocious, especially at night. About between 5 and 9 o'clock, the weather was absolutely horrific. The thunderstorms galore. But yeah, Jason is all the way down into, if I can find, he's down into 51st. And yeah, I am 14 points behind Jason now. So 14 points behind Jason. I'm slowly catching him. Again, I wonder if he'll be using his free card. Let's just quickly bring up Jason's team, because as I said, he's one of the few people with Aguero. Well, I say one of the few people. He's one of the few people around. But look, we know Kevin De Bruyne is out. So Kevin De Bruyne has been ruled out this particular game week. I said, what's wrong with Matip? A knock. Oh, he'll play. Pity sake. Check out Matip's tonight. If he doesn't play tonight, then maybe there's a chance he may not even have played anyway in the Champions League. But yeah, maybe Jason is in a bit of peril here. You can forget Lansbury. Don't worry about that. But Aguero looks like he could be benched. So you got Digne, and then De Bruyne definitely not playing. So Digne or Lundstram. And then if Matip ain't playing, so what's Jason going to do? Who knows? Whereas me, not too bad a position here. I was going over a wildcard idea that Jason actually brought up on, I can't even remember now, it was Saturday or Sunday, and he said about if he was to do a wildcard, he would consider 3 Man City midfielders and then work around a team in that. And what I came up with was this particular team. I mean, FPL Booner straight away. Your team looks great. Yeah, it does. It's still a load of rubbish though. It's still, as I'll bring up here right now, in the leagues, it's still down, down, down. So, okay, all right. It's all green there, admittedly, but when it comes to overall ranking, look at the state of that. Red, red, red. I'm down to 1.4 million. You know, and Buddha may come out with lines like your team looks great, but as we've discussed 30,000 times on this show, the teams look great, but they're doing absolutely nothing. It's awful. We were asked the question by, I think, now this is memory for you, I think it was Thier that asked myself and Jason what we think we're doing wrong. Have we changed our strategies this year? And the simple answer is no. I've done absolutely nothing other than the only thing that I've changed specifically from my quote-unquote strategy is the fact that I'm not copying the captaincy poll on Fantasy Football Scout. Now, ironically, they haven't really been successful anyway. Usually on the Fantasy Football Scout site, the polls usually reflect the more popular players. They don't really reflect on who's the best captaincy option, I don't think. And I think it's more down to ownership. That's just my opinion. And yeah, I think they're a bit skewed. And Nimfria, of course, she made the point about the fact that she uses the Fantasy Scout, she uses various Twitter polls just to get a general idea of what the feeling is around the community for safety. And I keep banging on about this. I think that the biggest, in answer to Tahir's question at the time, was the biggest mistake that I've personally made is the fact that I haven't gone with my own rule at the start of the season, which is going with my own gut. And also another thing that I've mentioned to Boona 30,000 times, and people that listening that take anything I say seriously, which is the history. Well, for 7 game weeks in a row, so I reiterate that point, 7 game weeks in a row, the history has got the captaincy bang on the money. What I mean by that is, whatever the history during our preview show is telling you to captain for the popular captaincy picks, it's always gone and got right. So, for example, this particular game week, it said the best captaincy option was Harry Kane, and Harry Kane came through. So, yeah, it's quite interesting how that's gone. So, regarding the preview show, congratulations to Nimfria. I did announce this on Monday evening after the games, but Nimfria did win the predictor game that we do live on air. She got 13 points, I got 12, Jason got 11. It's a very high scoring game. Quite literally, it goes down in descending order for point scoring. So, like I said, Nimfria 13, me 12, Jason 11, and History 10. Yeah, so it was a very, very good week for our predictions. But no, I don't know what on earth's going on particularly this season. I just think the lack of consistency with captaincy options, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, if you want to join me live on air, I don't know how long I'm going to be going on for. I don't particularly want to be going on for too long, but we will obviously, like I always say, if the conversation's good, the podcast is good. If the podcast is good, the longer it goes on. If the conversation's rubbish, if you bring nothing to the table, then we're going off air. It's quite simple, really. I know there's quite a lot of people watching this right now, and I know there'll be people waiting in the waiting room per se, but like I said, I'm just going to be talking Steve-O solo for X amount of time, and I do think that, what could we do for a free hit this particular weekend? Would you triple up on Arsenal, as an example, away at Bournemouth? No. Now let's just quickly go on the transfer page, and let's just briefly look over. If we were to do a free hit, and again, I'll call him out, it's Robin Sam. The fact that we know for fact that... So Robin Sam suggested that maybe a free hit could be good this weekend. So we know in my team specifically, Kevin De Bruyne ain't playing. And what I found interesting last night from what I found out was Sterling didn't start. Came on the pitch, and apparently, from what I'm reading, if it weren't for him, Man City were just lost for ideas. And he came on, gave him a bit of impetus, and yeah, look what happened. He went and scored, and he assisted Phil Foden as well. So yeah, I don't know what I'd do. Would Jesus be somebody that you'd punt on? Mahrez. I see Mahrez. Didn't he get an assist last night or something? He did really, really well last night. And I was reading as well, or hearing, that Mahrez looks like he's absolutely performing out of his skin. It looks like Pep Guardiola. I mean, we were asked a bit of a fun question. What would our joint Man City Liverpool 11 be? And me and Jason answered the question, and they said, okay, then who would you take out of what's his face, Pep Guardiola or Klopp? And I personally went with Guardiola, because he's the kind of manager that gets the best out of you. He pushes you, whereas Klopp is the guy that just enjoys. Well, let's be honest here. He just puts his arm around you and just tells you you're the greatest player on the planet and whatnot. But here we go. Let's just quickly. I mean, the most briefest of things. Let's do a Jason here. And let's just quickly see who's joining us at the moment. I mean, like I said, we've already mentioned Charlie there, One Rovers blog, J-Boy, Ray Joyce, welcome, Pagesh, Dillian Gregory, Dave Bradshaw, Oscar Callings there, becoming a regular contributor to the chat. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Ian Anderson, that's a name I haven't seen for a while. Vince Chapman's here. You're more than welcome to join me live, Vince. By all means, FPL Booner, I know he's just gone, so goodbye Booner, thanks a bunch, thanks for your support. Gravy Dave, good morning to you there, welcome to the my friend. Resi Desi, Andy that is. We've got Vignesh, there's loads of you. Matt D, good morning to all of you, welcome to the stream. I know it's early morning, it's 8 o'clock, well, it's 8:20 at the moment in the what do you call it, the morning in the UK, and FPL Booner hasn't gone. I don't know who the hell. Oh, it's Brew that's leaving. Sorry. Uncle Juicy TV's here. Of course, he joined us live on Monday evening. Welcome to the show, my friend, as Jason always says. But like I said, if you want to join live on the old discussion, by all means, just get into the waiting room, and we'll get you live on there to get you talking to the show. We've already got a caller in there, so we'll bring him on in a minute. Let's hopefully his internet's working, because normally it is absolutely hopeless, no disrespect, but that's the truth, I'm afraid, so hopefully we can get you on. But yeah, there's my team at the moment. The question is, for a 1 week punt, do I bring in Mahrez? The fact that Kevin De Bruyne has been ruled out, do I really want to play Gilbert? Not really. It's a question of who would you take a 1 week punt on, because I'm certain that I'm going to be wildcarding. I'm almost certain that I'm wildcarding in the international break. I've already made this point that game week 7 and game week 8 for me were the two game weeks to prove to me how good this team is moving forward. Obviously Saturday and Sunday are the big games, but I'm pretty certain that I'm going to wildcard this team, and I'll probably do a quick draft later on. But like I said, I'll keep banging on about, is Robin Sam right? Is this a good week to free hit? Jason's already in a bit of a pickle. 3 players look like he's out, and it's not looking good for Jason whatsoever, I'm afraid. But yeah, I'm thinking of maybe punting on Mahrez, potentially. Apparently played very, very well last night. They're at home against Wolves. Could I go with a Man United midfielder? I mean, if Martial's pass fit, is Martial worth a punt? But it's Man United. They're absolutely useless. And again, this statistic that I read about United the other day, that they've only scored 2 times or more underneath Solskjaer on 3 occasions. That's awful. That's really, really bad. So anybody predicting Man United to score more than 2 against Newcastle may want to rethink their predictions. I mean, looking at midfield options is I can't even bring in Mane if I wanted to against Leicester, because I ain't got enough money to bring in Mane because he's too expensive. Yeah, it's a tough one. But it looks like it's basically looking at the press conferences for Pep Guardiola, see what he says about Man City. But I think that Man City are the best ones to bring in. Right then, I've got my team up on screen that I'll be playing on regarding my transfers and everything. We'll go for a pretend wildcard, but let's just bring on... Oh, he's gone. Brilliant. So I was about to bring on Pageshian, but unfortunately he hasn't come on. So if anybody wants to come live on air with myself, the waiting room is completely free at the moment. So by all means, you can jump live on air, speak to the nation, speak about your thoughts ahead of... Buna, do you want to come live on air to talk about last night's 7-2 defeat? More importantly, about Tottenham themselves. They're a bunch of clowns. In fact, while I'm waiting, why not read an article off Football 365? I'm not going to read the whole thing, so calm down everybody, but no one's willing to come live on air, so I can do what I want. If you've got a problem with that, see you later. So, Football 365, their article that they posted last night after the shambles that was Spurs' defeat, entitled, "And Now, the End is Near for Spurs and Pochettino." And we'll just quickly go through what Football 365 said last night. So, the end of days, the end of the road, the end of the era. Whichever way the phrase ends, it starts with the end. There now seems to be little doubt that the Tottenham team under this Tottenham manager is on a glass mountain wearing moccasins. Don't know what the earth that means. The only way is down, and it will not be pretty. Limbs will be lost, tears will be shed, and through it all we will all wonder how Champions League finalists contrive to start a season without a right back worthy of the billing. There is little shame in losing to this exciting, rejuvenated Bayern Munich side, but there should be massive buckets full of shame in capitulating in such a ridiculous fashion. I completely agree with you. A League 2 side would be embarrassed to lose 7-2 at home to Liverpool. A National League side would be embarrassed to lose 7-2 at home to Everton. And Tottenham should be utterly ashamed of losing 7-2 at home to anybody at all. That is the kind of result from which it feels impossible to recover. Is it possible to lose 7-2 at home and merely go into the next game with the same manager and the same players? Andre Villas-Boas did not survive losing 5-0 at home to Liverpool. Tim Sherwood's chances of surviving beyond the end of the season were dealt a massive blow by a 5-1 shellacking by Man City at White Hart Lane. Pochettino has been a far more accomplished Tottenham manager than either of those short-term failures, but surely this is the kind of result that screams for change. The players may no longer be listening. Perhaps that is less damning than the alternative, that they are listening but are simply incapable of following instructions. In truth, they were cracking last season, but somehow managed to stick together through the unlikeliest of Champions League campaigns, while the Premier League season ended just in time for them to retain their place. But this is a team still that has lost 10 top-flight games in 2019. For context, and this is where I bring up that stat, for context, Newcastle have lost 11 in 2019. This is not a what on earth has happened in the last 4 months situation. This is how this has been in the post. This has been a team declining in plain sight of the majority of last season. And I have to agree, it is absolutely shambolic. It is absolutely shambolic, Tottenham, and I just think that... Now, ironically, from an FPL perspective, you can choose their players, specifically Son and Kane. Kane is just plodding along with the goal here and there. Son, again, he's just plodding along with assists, but it's just one goal here, one goal there. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Spurs progress or move forward, because Brighton at home is not an easy fixture whatsoever, and their away form is absolutely atrocious. Well, we were just speaking about Aussie Boy at the moment. He's in London at the moment on holiday. I'm assuming we'll probably talk more about London than we will actually about fantasy football, because it's probably more interesting. So yeah, we'll bring on Aussie Boy right now. Like I said, wouldn't that be ironic if his connection's rubbish? Considering when he joins us live from Australia, his connection is spot on, but now he's in London. I wonder how it'll be. Good morning, Aussie Boy. You're live on the Breakfast Show, and you are live, obviously, in London. Whereabouts in London are you at the moment?
So I'm actually not sure.
Right. Okay. Are you in central London?
I think I'm in like Western. I'm not sure though.
Do you know
Central, actually? No, my dad just told me we're in central London.
Do you know the specific area?
No.
Do you know anywhere where you're near whatsoever? Any locations, sites?
We're in Ellsborough or something? Ells Court.
Oh, well, court. Really? All right, you're near me then. You're down the road from me.
Oh, sick.
That's incredible. Amazing. Aussie boy, how was the flight over?
It was alright. The policeman arrested someone.
Sorry?
So when we got to London, the policeman arrested someone.
What was that about?
For some reason we don't know. We don't know why, but yeah.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, it wasn't alright because I figured out a way how to get rid of jet lag. So I've done that.
Do you want to tell our audience how to get rid of jet lag?
Oh yeah. So basically, when you leave, you essentially just go by the time of the destination that you're going to. So, because it worked well for us because we left really early in the morning, so we were tired. So we basically slept when people in UK would be sleeping, and then we stayed awake until like 8 or 9 o'clock. So we would get a normal sleep. And now I've slept till 8 o'clock, and yeah, I'm all good now, and I don't feel jet lagged at all.
How long have you been in the UK so far?
We just got here last night.
Oh wow! So you experienced the thunderstorm then?
Yeah, but so I think we're going touring today.
Do you know whereabouts you're planning on going? I'm not stalking you. I'm just of interest for conversation point of view.
No, it's just the pickup, drop-off bus.
Oh right, okay, okay. So you'll be going to all the big destinations and everything.
Yeah.
Did you by chance get an opportunity to watch any of the highlights or even the game itself between Bayern Munich and Tottenham last night?
No, because I try to watch it, but the Optus Sport, which is the thing I watch all the games on, doesn't work in England because it's an Australian thing. So yeah, I couldn't watch it. But I'll probably take a look at the highlights a bit later.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the highlights once this
apparently
streams.
Nabry just destroyed them.
Yes. Yeah, he scored in the 53rd, 55th, and the 83rd and the 87th. I don't know what on earth was going on regarding their defence, but that is absolutely disgusting.
I'm not going to be able to be on that long, but
no, that's fine. No, I appreciate you coming on. Well, we'll quickly talk fantasy football. We've got your team up on the screen at the moment, and let's just get straight to it. Kevin De Bruyne, what are you going to do?
I think I'm going to hold, but because I have bigger problems, Aurier.
Well, he's playing. Aurier's playing.
Wait, what do you mean?
I believe he's actually going to be starting.
The game after, you mean, though?
I thought no, because it was 2 yellows. I thought that he was suspended for
does that... No, but it says on the...
Yeah, you are right. My apologies. Forget what I've just said. Yeah, he is suspended until the 19th of October. Just forget everything I've just said. Can we edit that out? No, we can't. We're live. So yeah, you've got Aurier and Kevin De Bruyne, but you've only got... Because you wild-carded, and I don't know if you saw our stream live or not, but I looked at your team and I was shocked at your bench. Yeah. Can you tell us why you wild-carded?
Because there were 7 players I wanted to change, so then I figured, you know what, I'm going to do it. And this is a team I wanted. Well, now I don't really want Aurier, but, you know. But, yeah, I'm still happy with the team. Like, it's got the players I want and wanted. So it's not, I don't think it's a fail. Maybe just the game week after it is. But I think it still scored more than what my team would have.
Right, okay. So you're going to hold on to Kevin De Bruyne. You're going to put your faith into Rico and Lundstrom, I suppose, or even, well, not even Stevens. But who would you play out of them two? So Bournemouth are away at Arsenal. That's going to be a destroyer.
Definitely play Lundstrom.
Yeah. Sheffield United away at Watford. You'd like to hope that potentially they'd get a clean sheet.
Yeah.
But Aurier, you're going to have to... So effectively, in fact... If you don't do something with Aurier, effectively you have to play Rico and Lundstrom.
Yep, basically. So
you're not going to do a transfer?
I'm thinking of getting rid of Aurier for Tomori or Soyuncu.
Oh, right.
The thing with me, I want to get Tomori because then I feel confident playing him this week. and then I can also get Lundstrom to come on for De Bruyne if he does. Because is he guaranteed out or?
Who's that? Sorry.
Because I think in that De Bruyne.
Yeah, he's out. He's not playing.
But I thought it said in the tweet he's a chance against Wolves.
Let's bring up that tweet again. I've got it up on the screen at the moment. Guardiola says that it's not serious. We'll see on Sunday. Right now, I don't know if he'll play against Wolves, but I think after the international break, he will be fit. For me, he's not playing. FPL Boom is saying he's not 100%, but I'm telling you now, I don't think. I think Pep Guardiola, I'm calling him out now. Pep, you'd be I nearly swore then. You'd be an idiot if you played Kevin De Bruyne. If you think that Kevin De Bruyne isn't 100% fit, do not play him. So I'm calling it now. He ain't going to be playing. He'd be a fool to play a half fit or whatever.
The thing with me, I just don't know who I'd get rid of him for.
Mahrez?
That's amazing.
Mahrez? David Silva?
You reckon?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I bring
Mahrez is I think Mahrez is a very intriguing option right now for me.
What were your thoughts on the wildcard circumstances regarding what Jason said about having 3 midfielders from Man City, but then having a better bench? What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know. I think it's a good idea where he's going with it because, you're going to get a return from the most likely because I think 2 out of was it David Silva, Benato and Riyad Mahrez?
I mean, Staz, however you want to pronounce your name, S-Taz, he says, don't buy Mahrez, and I'm just thinking, why? I was listening to... Sorry?
He's been very good, hasn't he?
Of course he has. In fact, he played, apparently he's playing really, really well at the moment. It looks like he's finally come round to Pep's thinking. He has played 4 90-minute matches this season. He every single match he's played for 90 minutes, he's got a double-digit return, apart from in one, which was ironically against Brighton when they won 4-0. And it's like Planet FPL said, I mean, who else is he going to play? Apart from maybe Bernardo Silva and David Silva. But,
Exactly.
So I think that Mahrez is actually a really, really good punt. Again, I'm going to find out. We're going to do the press conferences. We'll find out what he is said in the press conferences because, like Boone has made the point, officially, Kevin De Bruyne is not actually out. But if he is out, well, I'm not going to be playing a flaming. Like I said, if I'm wildcarding, I may as well make the transfer. And I'd rather have Mahrez than have playing, say, I don't know, Rico as an example, or Lundstrom, or even Gilbert. So I'd rather have that specific.
But I'm also thinking if you did that move, then De Bruyne will likely drop, and then if Mahrez returns, he'll rise because all the casuals are just going to look at the points and who's playing and who's not, and just think, oh God, I must get rid of him, or I must get him. So if we can jump on that early, then we could potentially make money from that move. Because I'm 100% sure I'm going to be getting De Bruyne back after the international break if I get rid of him.
Oh, of course, yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said,
it should be easy to,
I'm going to miss out by 0.3. That's it, 0.3 million. I'm not going to die, and I think that certainly. I mean, Roman has just come in here. And he said that did Mahrez play 90 minutes last night? Well, whether he did or not, I mean, he's a pro athlete for crying out loud. I don't think that's a major issue. I mean, what are your thoughts on David Silva potentially?
No, I personally wouldn't do it, but I can see why people would, to be honest.
Right, so he definitely did play Fast Air straight away, saying that he did definitely play 90 minutes.
Oh, he didn't play?
No, he did. He played 90 minutes,
good.
So maybe...
Because that means I think that means he's more of a chance, really.
Yeah, I mean, someone's just coming in now saying that it's Jacko saying that Mahrez doesn't rotate with Kevin De Bruyne. It will either be Gundogan, Rodri, Silva, I'm assuming David Silva, or Phil Foden. I mean, Phil Foden, of course, played last night, but Pep's already come out and basically simply said that he really doesn't think that Foden's going to get into this team. Not the exact quote, but he just thinks that he feels sorry for Foden because the quality of player that are actually available He doesn't think that Phil Foden will ever get into that team, which is an absolute shame because he's one hell of a British talent. Aussie boy, we'll let you go because I know you're not going to be in all day. But just one quick final thought. Have you thought about potentially using a free hit? Robin Sam come up with that idea, and a friend of mine, Mr. Reed, and I like the WhatsApp message, by the way, Mr. Reed.
I don't think so, because if anything, I'll take a -4 to bring in Mahrez for De Bruyne. I'm definitely going to get rid of Aurier for. I'm pretty sure Tomori.
I mean, just to finish with what I was saying, Mr. Reed, of course, used his free hit chip, and he got 75 points. I think that's absolutely fantastic, and maybe this particular game week.
Maybe.
It could be worth looking into, but
I just want to I want to save my free hit for a double game week. That's just the thing for me, because when a double game week comes around where like tons of your players aren't playing, then that chip is going to be more useful than when, say, a couple aren't playing and where one of them isn't even guaranteed not playing. So.
Just a quick final thought. We've got his up on screen at the moment. It's David Silva. Your thoughts on maybe bringing in David Silva? He did play last night as well.
I don't know. I'd probably pick Mahrez or Bernardo over him, to be honest.
So David Silva played 89 minutes and Bernardo Silva played 56, but my simple understanding is that Bernardo didn't play particularly well, and then when Raheem Sterling came on, the whole dynamic changed. So maybe David Silva could be the one. Aussie boy, all I can say... actually, we'll get a quick one. Your prediction, because you're going to the Leicester game, aren't you? Liverpool versus Leicester.
Yeah, and I'm also going tonight.
No way!
For Salzburg. Yeah.
Oh, wow. What are your thoughts? Well, just give us a quick score prediction for tonight's game.
Ooh, I've got to say 3-1. We won't keep a clean sheet, but we'll win comfortably.
Are you here for 2 weeks?
No. We're here. I think we leave to France at
France?
I think on the weekend or maybe next week. I'm not sure.
So what's what is this? A European tour or something?
Yeah, basically.
And how long are you off school, whatever, for?
3 weeks, man. Pretty good.
Wow, that's amazing. That's absolutely fantastic. So you're watching Liverpool tonight. Then you're going to see them against Leicester.
Yeah, so we're going to 2 games.
What do you think of the Leicester game?
Oh, I think it will be a close one because I think they're looking very good. So maybe 2-1.
Well, I'm thinking maybe 1-0 to Liverpool. Maybe 2-0 at a push. I don't think Leicester are going to score. Although someone did post up on Twitter some stat about Jamie Vardy versus not just Liverpool but the top 6 teams, and it looks phenomenal. But I'm not really confident in Leicester. If they can't do anything against Man United away, then what on earth are they going to do against Liverpool? Aussie boy, have you got any final thoughts before we let you go?
Yeah, well, I'm just going to thank you, Steve, for bringing Mahrez, because I was thinking, oh God, who am I going to get in for De Bruyne if I get rid of him? And Mahrez, he looks to be the perfect option if I do that move. So yeah, thanks, man. And good luck, everyone, for the game week.
Aussie boy, thank you for joining us and have a wonderful holiday. There's Aussie boy there joining us from London. Absolutely incredible. He's, as you can tell, from Australia. And he's a regular contributor to the breakfast show. It's always fantastic having him on. He's normally a co-host, usually, for us. Talking of co-hosts, let's bring on a co-host. It's Kev, a.k.a. Statman. Statman, good morning. Hello, Statman. You are there. I can hear you.
Oh, alright, Steve, you just came through there.
Good morning to you, my friend. How are you feeling after hearing the news that Kevin De Bruyne looks like he's out?
Yeah, I just had that broken listening to you there, so a bit of a surprise. Yeah, bit of food for thought. What's general consensus? Is everyone thinking of shipping him on or holding on? Does the injury sound like it's more than a week or two, or I really am clueless?
So I don't know if you got the screen up, but I'll bring it up again. Up on screen at the moment is the tweet sent out by Man City, but Guardiola has basically said that he's going to check out on Kevin De Bruyne on as late as Sunday, but he doesn't think he'll be... I don't know if he'll be ready for Wolves, but certainly after the international break. Essentially, as I mentioned earlier, I think Pep Guardiola would be absolutely foolish to play Kevin De Bruyne at all. Why would you risk one of the best players in the world when you've got the quality that Man City have in midfield to cover that? I mean, we've just been talking with Aussie Boy regarding replacements, and I've got to say, Mahrez is the one for me that I'd love to probably take a punt on per se. Your thoughts on Mahrez?
Well, first of all, what price did you get De Bruyne in, Steve-O?
Well, I can sell him at 9.7.
Oh, right. Yeah. Same. Well, I got him in at 9.5. It's going to cost 10 to get back in. I play the value quite a bit, so the thought of having to make another transfer to get De Bruyne in another game week, it's just an absolute no-go for me. So I'll sit him on my bench next week for sure and play Cantwell, which isn't a bad... I think I'm in a position with many. I was going to bench Cantwell this week, so if I can get him at home to Villa, that'll be all right. But Mahrez, well, what's he had? He's had 4 blanks, 4 one-pointers.
Well, his minutes, I'll quickly bring them up again. His minutes are actually very, very good if he plays the 90 minutes. So he's played 4 times 90 minutes, and he's got in 3 of them double-digit returns, which is just quite extraordinary, apart from in a 4-0 win, would you believe, against Brighton. But you know, he made a 10-minute cameo against Tottenham, an 11-minute cameo against Bournemouth, and a 17-minute one against Norwich. And I think that I mean, it's a bit of a potential punt, but we had someone Taz saying that it looks like it's more like going to be Rodri, Gundogan, Foden, or one of the Silvers taking over from De Bruyne. I mean, David Silva somebody that could potentially be a 1-week punt?
I'd more lean towards one of the central midfielders. If anything, I don't think it'll affect Mahrez's minutes in the slightest, will it? But yeah, I don't know. The price point, I haven't got Son, so I know. I've just heard you ripping Spurs apart, and honestly, I haven't seen any of these results. I can't believe they got hammered. by that scoreline at home. I've just took a massive step back from the footy this week. So the Son replacement might not be looking as good, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like taking a punt on Pep roulette at the best of times. That's why I've went with the 3 most likely not to get rotated, and I'm still getting hit with that rotation thing. So I don't know. Personally, I'll sit him on the bench and just hope it's a 1 week, especially with the international break, like you say. But yeah, a bit of a downer, especially with that Wolves fixture, innit? I was really looking forward to
talking of
3.
I mean, I've just thought of something here. We always talk about clown teams, and who are the biggest clowns in the Premier League at the moment? No disrespect, but it's Newcastle and Watford. And maybe, I'm just thinking aloud here, I'm thinking maybe a Man United midfielder for my sins. I mean, Man United, talking of clowns, I mean, they're one of the biggest ones. At least Newcastle and Watford aren't expected to be challenging for anything. No disrespect, but it's just the truth. Man United, for the status of who... I mean, I'm stating the blinking obvious, it's as patronising as it gets, but the status for who they are, they're a joke. They are an absolute joke. And do I really trust Man United options in midfield? The answer is no. Maybe Martial, but Sheffield United... I mean, if we were to look at Sheffield United's midfield options, what's his name again that scored twice? Was it Robinson or something?
Robinson, yeah.
Robinson, is he in midfield and sometimes plays up front?
He's playing up top, isn't he? Just about
5.3, and you're saying he plays up top. Oh, his minutes aren't that great. I mean,
he's been injured though, wasn't he? Was he injured for? Are you looking at 0 minutes? I'm not looking, but
he's been playing pretty regular. He's been playing pretty regular, to be fair. He's only played 290 minutes, and one of them was when he scored 1 goal and got 1 assist versus Chelsea of all teams away. Maybe I'm just thinking that the opposition, Watford, are just absolutely. I mean, that wouldn't surprise me if that ended 0-0. To be honest with you, but yeah, Man United, Newcastle, Man United. Do you think you're going to get a tanking, or do you think because Man United can't score more than 1 goal, it could be 1-1, maybe even a win for you lot?
Yeah, I wouldn't. And I said last week I wasn't fearing Vardy and co, but like Marlon predicted, they did thrash us. But nah, I think at home it's always a big game against Man U. There's old rivalry there, no matter where we are in the league. And I haven't looked at the record of us, but I'm pretty sure we've got a half decent record against them. And like you say, no one fears Man United at the minute, so. Nah, I wouldn't be putting any faith in Man U putting a boatload past us at home.
Isn't it worrying?
But I got that wrong last week as well. So here comes the 5-0 win for Man U.
Isn't it worrying though that someone like yourself and me are basically saying that you can't fear Man United? You'd actually put them, like for me, I'd put them in the same category as Newcastle, Watford.
Exactly.
The only difference is that Man United, within reason, have a decent defence. That's about it. But reality is like, even with Arsenal, when we talk Arsenal, it's like, well, you're always going to score against them. And Bournemouth, I mean, that's another one. Bournemouth away at Arsenal. Now, Arsenal's record against the so-called poorer teams, basically teams outside the top 6, I'm not going to lie, it's excellent. And admittedly, they won just 3-2 against Aston Villa, which, in my opinion, is a fucking... Oh, a swollen. Which is an absolute disgraceful...
That's becoming a bit of a regular occurrence, Steve, at the minute.
There's a clip for you, SMZ and Daily Llama. But
we'll have to put an R18 at the beginning of the show soon.
That's not going to get any advertising. But Arsenal, that was an absolute, in my opinion, a shocking result against Aston Villa. I don't care what people say. Actually, that's one that could maybe come in for Kevin De Bruyne as a 1-week punt. McGinn? I mean, we're all talking Man City direct swaps, but... Are there any other teams that you could think of from a midfield perspective that could do something? Maybe Son away at Brighton. Your thoughts on that?
Yes, Son. Just for the good switch up with the price point. But who else has got a good fixture? Liverpool at home to Leicester.
But Mane's too, unless you got the money.
Yeah. Or you want to got a spare. Couple of transfers, but nothing.
I'm only talking literally direct swaps here. I'm not talking like doing hits. I mean, the best fixtures we've got, possibly Chelsea away at Southampton, but we all know Chelsea are pretty poor after the European games, all notorious for that. You got Man City that got a good fixture against Wolves. I've already mentioned Man United. Arsenal, are there any midfield options there? Not particularly. West Ham at home to Crystal Palace, that's going to be very, very tight. Liverpool, we've already mentioned, but direct swap is going to be... Everton away at Burnley. Now that is possibly Richarlison, Sigurdsson territory. Maybe.
Do you think?
Oh yeah, Everton are probably going to beat us. I can see that being a 2-1. It's going to be a tight game. But Everton are definitely going to score against us, and I'm going to go with... If I was predicting that... Well, I will be on Thursday. I'm probably going to go with a 2-1 victory to Everton. Maybe 1-1, but if you were to push me, I'd probably go 2-1 to Everton. Because I just think because of the quality Everton have over us, and their record against us is actually pretty solid, to be fair. But no, it's a tough one, isn't it, Kev? And again, with
best week as well.
Your thoughts on a free hit potentially? I mean, Jason's in a situation where actually he may need to free hit because he's got 3 players out. 2 of them for definite are not going to be playing. Your thoughts
Yeah.
on maybe playing the free hit chip this particular game week?
God, I hope he doesn't. I really, I really do. I really hope he doesn't for his own sake.
Come on, you don't mean that. He's a rival. He's a rival.
It would be entertaining to see him head into the international break with no chips left and have taken 2 massive hits and stuff. But I just, I'm pretty sure his bench will be playing, won't they? He must have the likes of Kelly or Lundstrom, etc.
Well, essentially, we've got Kevin De Bruyne is basically not playing for definite. Yep. Matip's been yellow flagged, but I think he'll probably play. Lansbury, don't worry about him. Aguero is the one because he started last night. There's a lot of talk about him. Jesus playing on Sunday, so there's potential him of not playing. And then Jason's bench.
Did he play the full? Did he play the full game, Steve? Did he?
I don't know. Actually, I don't think he did. No, I think he was subbed off after. Let's just quickly find out.
I didn't even know that. Honestly,
he played the whole game, apart from barring a few minutes. So Jesus came on the 89th minute.
So that's pointing towards Jesus starting on Saturday then, which is a pain for us all that own him.
Possibly, yes.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to this weekend, to be honest.
Jason's in a potential dilemma because on his bench he's only got Digne and Lundstrom. Well, that's not too bad, but I would have thought he would have played Digne versus Burnley. That's fine. Lundstrom away at Watford. He's in a tough position because I'm assuming Matip will play. So Jason's in a bit of a dilemma at the moment, and I'm happy because I'm only 14 points behind him now. You're doing well, aren't you? You dropped down to 33rd spot in the Cashmere League, and you did say that on I can't remember when we got you on, but you said that it's going to be the first red that you've had in a long time from an overall rank point of view. Overall rank, you're 453,000th. In the Cash Mini League, you're 33rd. But barring Kevin De Bruyne and potentially Aguero maybe not starting, what are your thoughts now ahead of game week 8? Now that news has kind of been broken to you.
I wasn't really looking forward to this game week anyway. I got a couple of calls wrong last week, and I'm like a true believer in momentum in this game. When you looks in, it tends to keep coming for a few game weeks, and you can keep rolling that dice. And I think once you get a few calls wrong, and you've got to do your best not to panic and not to second doubt yourself. And I just got the call wrong. I brought Diop in, shipping Digne out, and the only 2 other options were Sionko and Tomori, who both returned and who you'd both be really pleased with going forward. Obviously, Fabianski got injured, so now Diop is looking. Not only did he get 0 on his debut last week for us, now got the main part of the defence. Fabianski out for a few months, so that's looking like a bit of a...
Suj off Planet FPL, he said that if you're thinking of getting in West Ham defenders, forget about it. The fact that they've got whoever it is that's going to be the reserve keeper for the next 2 months, just avoid West Ham like the plague.
Yeah, no, well, he's in now. I can't bring myself to take him straight out because you look at West Ham's fixtures. They've got Palace at home, then after the break they've got Everton away, Sheffield at home, Newcastle at home, and then Burnley away. So at least they are capable of getting 1 or 2 clean sheets there. Surely home to Palace, home to Sheffield, home to Newcastle. They're capable of it, but it just went wrong, and both the other options returned. And then, like you say, De Bruyne being injured now, Aguero looking like he possibly could start on the bench. I really wanted to take 2 transfers into the international break, which I always try to do. And now, I'm probably in the same boat as many. I'm looking at it, and I wish I could do more than a couple of transfers even at this point. So I'm just trying to take a step back and then look at it logically on Friday or something when the press conferences come out. Because the team looks good, the team looks good. I'm like you. my team looks good to us. I'm not expecting it to perform badly overall, but it's just something doesn't balance upright to the eye, and I'll probably just have to chance it and take another loss this game week and look to recover, because it is easy to panic and to start making panic transfers and stuff. So yeah, I'll probably just play it as it is and take a transfer and hope that Aguero gets something, because he was going to be my captain this week.
I was literally
I
was about to say, who are you planning on captaining this game week? We've only got a few days to go before the deadline, and I mean, my captaincy was on Kevin De Bruyne, so I think I'm probably going to put it on Sterling.
Did Sterling play in the game last night?
Nope.
Did he feature much?
No, what? No, well, hold on a minute. Hold on before you go mad. He actually came on for Bernardo Silva, because my understanding is that he wasn't playing particularly great, or Man City weren't playing particularly great, and Sterling came on, and what does he do? He does what he does best. He scored a goal and assisted. But based on your logic, though, remember, when Sterling does well, the following game he does poorly.
Yeah, but just in the league, those people that in the league, if you look through his stats, like FPL wise, it's always a big haul of 14, 15, 20, whatever, and then a 3, a 2, a 1, for 2 or 3 games. That isn't taken in consideration. Now, if someone could delve a little deeper, if someone's got a reliable site that you can kind of throw in the Champions League there as well, I'd like to know, but I have no other options. I can't risk Aguero coming on for the last 20 minutes again. That hurt last week, even though he got the assist. It was a reminder of what can happen when you own Aguero. I think a lot of us have got lucky this far. Jesus being injured, but it was just a stark reminder that you are playing Pep Roulette. So it would have to be on Sterling. Mane at home to Leicester. Liverpool at home, you'd like anyone, but what about an outside punt on Pookie? I know a lot of people want to ship him on this week. What do you think?
Yeah, well, when we do our preview show, and as I say, the history is always bringing up some wonderful statistics, especially regarding the captaincy. And don't get me wrong, I won't be putting Pookie into the more popular captain picks, but what I will tell you is this: I've already looked at the history for Norwich versus Aston Villa. It looks like the average. It's going to go with the history saying a 3-1 victory to Norwich, and more importantly for you to listen to, last season Pookie only played Aston Villa once. He got 1 goal, but prior to that, the game before that, the striker got 2 goals, and a lot of the games in the 6 last fixtures that they've played against each other, the striker seems to do. In fact, I'll bring it up in a minute, but they seem to do very, very well. So do you know what? I don't want to go near Pookie anymore, because Pookie has burnt me because of that West Ham game where I just assumed he would actually do really, really well for me, and he completely failed. And it's a bit like with what's his face? I've completely forgotten. I had his name up a second ago. Whoever it was, I was thinking because of past history, I don't ever want to. Matt Ryan, it was. I don't ever want him in my team. Jamie Vardy's another one. Cannot stand him because of why? Because of last season, the last day of the season, when all he had to do, he was my captain. I triple captained Jamie Vardy on the last day of the season. I thought, you know what? There's a chance that I could catch Jason to win the mini league that we were in. And what does Jamie Vardy do against a Chelsea team that were absolutely a shambles at the time? He goes and blanks in a 0-0. And I've just got this beef with particular teams, particular players because of their past history. And yeah, with Pookie, I think that certainly it could be a wise choice. But in your team right now, I'm looking at it, I think the safety option has got to be Sterling, mate.
Yeah, it does. It does, but look at Pookie's stats, though. Cannot compete. Nobody in my team can compete with them stats at home. I know there's a way, to be desired, but he's playing a Villa team that can't keep clean sheets really. surely Villa are going to come to win, knowing that Norwich are quite soft at the back. I wasn't really considering it, but just looking at his stats, he always scores at home. He picks up max bonus normally. I really think he's going to put a big stop to the talk of getting shot of him this weekend. Like I think he'll definitely get on the score sheet, if not get a couple. And then what are people going to do? Because we know that they're not doing the same away from home, and it's like I got him in at 6.5, and I can't comprehend not wanting him in my team, even if it is just the home games that he's going to do well. You look at Mahrez and these players that people are considering, and overall they've got a fair few points less than Pukki, cost a fair bit more than Pukki, but yet they're the hot topic of who to bring in. And Pukki's, is he the most transferred out player this week, or one or?
Let's just quickly find out. I'd be shocked if he.
Yes,
he is. He's the most transferred out player with 81,000.
Mental. On the eve of a game against Aston Villa at home, I don't know. I think people are, because remember people got shot of him last time, and he scored 2 or
same with Sterling. Sterling this particular game week. I mean, I get it, but Sterling this particular game week was sold by 280,000 managers. Pops up with a goal. I'm personally hoping that, of course, that Mahrez comes in and does something. I mean, who were Wolves playing? It was Watford, wasn't it? The last 2 fixtures that Watford have played in has been the best. Right. So when Watford have played, whoever they've played, a player from the opposition has actually come out on top in the last 2 with the most points against Watford. So last time it was Doherty. Time before that was Bernardo Silva. Remember there was a pattern last year about if you were to captain anybody playing Huddersfield, you'd always get double-digit scores. So maybe Sheffield United, Lundstrom. Someone joked the other day about Lundstrom captaining him. I'm assuming they were saying it tongue-in-cheek, but maybe there's something in it. I mean, if I was to do a wild card, Kev, I would probably get rid of Pukki. I'd certainly get rid of him, and I would. I'd rather have Callum Wilson as an example with their fantastic fixtures at the moment. But he's slowly creeping back up to 8 million again. He's 7.9 at the moment. And maybe he's somebody to be looking at overall. Kev, I'm going to bring on Charlie, Chicken Tikka Mo Salah. We'll bring him on in a second because he's another one. I mean, I know hundreds of people have got Kevin De Bruyne in their team, but he's also got Aguero, and it'd be interesting to hear his thoughts on maybe the potential benching of Aguero ahead of this particular game week. So here we go. I will bring on Charlie right now. Morning, Charlie. Welcome to the Breakfast Club.
Morning, Steve-O.
Good morning. Yeah, we've just been talking about the fact that potentially a free hit this particular season, but more importantly, your team, Kevin De Bruyne looks like he's more than likely not going to play, and Aguero possibly not starting. I mean, how are you feeling ahead of this particular game week now?
Yeah, I'm a bit. I mean, De Bruyne, fair enough. He's got an injury, but Aguero, I'm very finding it very annoying because Pep Roulette, and Aguero hasn't been scoring as much. Even last night he should have scored at least 2 goals, and he's just looked off it recently, Aguero.
So you're thinking maybe Aguero's off form at the moment. Do you put this down to anything, or I mean, what?
I'm not sure really. He's just looked off it a bit, not finishing, because last year he got the hat-trick against Huddersfield, and he should have had 2 or 3 in his last two full starts and last night really, but he just looks off it, so yeah, it's quite annoying really.
In answer to Darren Walsh's question, so Darren Walsh is asking, are we talking about a free hit just because Kevin De Bruyne may be out? No. It's the fact that people like Jason, my co-host, has potentially going to have 3 or 4 players out. People like Charlie at the moment could have De Bruyne out and both Aguero, and it's just the benches just aren't good enough to cover those particular players. Your thoughts on Mahrez as a straight swap, Charlie, to Kevin De Bruyne to Mahrez? Your thoughts on that?
I'm just going to leave him, to be honest. I mean, if I was going to take out a player, it'd be well. I've already made one transfer actually.
Wow. Do you want to reveal what you've done?
I've done Dan James to Yarmolenko. I've done that on Saturday evening.
Wow. Have you with hindsight now, have you kind of regretted that or not?
Nah, not really. I think United. I mean, even though Dan James and McTominay, they're bright sparks. I think they'll lose. I think they'll lose against Newcastle. To be honest with you.
Kev, your thoughts on that immediately?
Yeah, it could likely pick that game up and shock Man U, but let's be honest, it wouldn't be a massive shock anyway, would it? If Newcastle can steal a win against them these days, so not a bad call. I wouldn't be holding on to Man U assets at the minute. And like say, even against us, you wouldn't put your mortgage on them doing anything at all. So fair play. I think that's a good transfer.
Charlie, you're doing really well. Not just this season, but in our Cash Money League, you're 7th at the moment. Yeah. People like me are wondering what on earth I'm doing wrong to not be doing well with a team which I personally think is pretty good. We'll reverse the question: what are you doing right to be so high up in the Cash Mini League? Because let's be honest here, the people that are in that mini league are absolutely top class managers, and you are only how many points are you? A 4th spot, for example.
Not far. I think it's 10 or 12 points.
58 points. 8 points off 4th.
Yeah.
So what do you put this down to?
I think it's maybe some differentials, like probably because I've had McGinn since the start. He's ticked along, scored in his last 2 games. Pookie I had for the Newcastle game, whereas a lot of people got him in after that game. Tammy as well. I had him for the Norwich double and the hat trick. And yeah, I just think having a few differentials like that, I've got on them at the right time. And I think his captain's been a bit weird for me. Like, I think I've got it wrong like 2 or 3 times, and I'm quite surprised that I'm still, near the top, and I've done like a minus. I'm pretty sure I've done a -4 like every week as well, and I'm still around there. But yeah, I just think it's because of the differentials I had in at the start, since the start, to be honest, and before people got on them as bandwagons.
Good God! Since game week 3, you have taken a -4 every single game week. And if we just quickly look over your transfer history,
I think like the only one I got wrong was last week, and that was taken out. I regret that massively, taking out Sterling for Salah, because I don't want Salah.
Can you tell us why? Well, number 1, why did you do that move? And number 2, why don't you want Salah anymore?
It's just after watching that game, and the way that the Newcastle game they had at home, it was all Mane, and then really Salah only had one big chance on Saturday. And yeah, I wish I kept Sterling now. I regret that massively.
Sorry, Charlie, just got to cut you off. We've had a super chat from somebody, and it is from apologies for that. It came through on the notification, but there's nothing there, so I don't know what else there. Sorry, Charlie. Bizarre. Strange. You were saying, Charlie, about your regrets of Salah. Bring him in.
Yeah, it's just I should have just kept Sterling. It's just really annoying me, this rotation. That's why I'm worried with Aguero. I'd rather get in either Aubameyang, Vardy, or Wilson for Aguero, just so then they're basically going to play every game. Vardy's going to play every game. Wilson's going to play every game, and they're all on form. Whereas
What
Aguero
about Kane,
is, or he's a massive differential. He's even less so than Wilson, I think. But yeah, any of them four really. And like that's why I got on. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get on like Yarmolenko. Obviously, 3 in his last 4. He's a very vocal attacking option for West Ham. He was doing well last year before he got injured as well.
Well, we were talking about straight swaps from Kevin De Bruyne to whoever. We've all been talking about Mahrez or David Silva or Bernardo Silva possibly, but we're mentioning other teams there. I mean, I'm not confident in West Ham versus Crystal Palace, but your thoughts on maybe for a 1 week midfielder punt? Is Yarmolenko that man?
Yeah, I think it is. Palace, apart from the United game, they haven't done well away from home this season. They've been tight at home, but away from home. I'm not really sure about 1 week punts. Apart from like Mahrez and David Silva. I think it's quite hard this week, to be honest. I don't think any midfielder has a standout fixture which they're gonna score. They're sort of iffy players.
Just want to say thank you to Ian Anderson telling me it was somebody called Harbour Boy that super chatted $4.99. It hasn't appeared up on screen. I have no idea whether it was just a mistake or something, but if it did go through, Harbour Boy, thank you for your kind donation. I have no idea what was said, but it genuinely is not on my screen whatsoever. It's not even on my phone when I put up YouTube for a second. And if anybody can tell me why none of my tweets are being sent out regarding the fact that we're live, I'd be very grateful to any tech experts out there, because every time I put out a tweet it tells me that the tweet has failed to send and I have no idea why. So if anybody knows why, then
just randomly, I've tried to retweet that while we've been talking and it said the same to me. So
maybe there's a fault with Twitter. Who knows? Maybe Elite FPL has been hacked and banned. Who knows? Paul E. spending my birthday listening to Steve. Well, funny enough, I don't want to talk about this, but it's my birthday tomorrow, so I'll be I say celebrating. I don't do birthdays, but happy birthday, Paulie. Yeah, and Simon Anderson straight away. Happy birthday, Paulie. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Basically, Aussie Boy saying that maybe there's a Twitter glitch. Oh, Twitter is down. Ben Wheatcroft is saying Twitter typical. For one day that I kind of want to build up some form of audience regarding our breakfast show, it's completely failed. Charlie, while we got you live on air, your thoughts on potentially captaining a Sheffield United player, let's be honest here, Lundstrom, or maybe in fact bringing in Robinson as a 1 week punt against Watford, considering Watford are an absolute shambles of a team.
I wouldn't go as far as captaining a Sheffield. I mean, they could keep a clean sheet. Well, that Robinson's looked quite good, to be honest. I think he scored against Chelsea. But yeah, I wouldn't really. To be honest with you, I think that's the sort of game I think they'd lose. To be honest, I think Watford will win that. Actually, yeah, I just have a feeling, that Sheffield United, they've done so well against Liverpool. I just think that'd be the sort of game for Watford to win, but it'd be very tight. Either a score draw or a 2-1 win to either side.
So with your team up on screen at the moment, we're going with a 3-4-3 formation, and you're actually playing McGinn ahead of Cantwell. Is that a definite or?
Who's that? Sorry, McGinn.
Yeah, you've got McGinn in at the moment playing ahead of Cantwell. Is that what you're going to be doing?
Yeah, definitely. He's 2 goals in 2 games. He's their main player. Yeah, he's on a lot of confidence. There's no way. He's got to be starting.
But
McGinn.
I mean, Kev, Charlie's playing McGinn ahead of Cantwell. Are you surprised at that particular move?
Nah, it's the same setup I've got. That's why Cantwell's sitting as my first sub, and why the De Bruyne injury does bother us. But I had the same headache when I was setting up my bus team. And although Cantwell has been returned at home, like Charlie says, McGinn's just in top form. So,
yeah, I'm sorry. It's the same with Pookie. Are you both mad? I mean, Cantwell at home. This is home, by the way. 10 points, 7 points, 6 points, and you're playing McGinn, who away from home. I mean, I'm probably going to be proven wrong here. Away at Tottenham, he got 7 points. Away at Crystal Palace, 2. Away at Arsenal, yeah, I've been proven wrong. Well, ironically, you could potentially play them both with Kevin De Bruyne out, Charlie.
Yeah, I think that will happen anyway. Yeah, because I don't think De Bruyne will be back until after international break. So yeah, I'll probably be playing. I don't really want to play both, but I think it will be a high-scoring game. I think it'd be like a 3-2. Because both teams can't defend, but both teams can, nick a goal here and there.
Can I ask your thoughts on Jason's opinion on if anybody was to wildcard bringing in 3 Man City midfielders, but that will be able to help you bolster up your squad. So if one of the players doesn't play, you get a quality substitution coming in. Your thoughts on that, Charlie?
Yeah, I think it's an excellent idea. I think I seen the team. You put up the other night, was it?
I'll bring it up in a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, the Sunday. Yeah, and it looked class. It honestly looked really good. I think it's going to be just rotation like every single game. Someone like it depends who's on. Well, I say who's on form, but Pep just does it anyway, don't he, to keep everyone happy and players fit. So yeah, it looks a good idea. Three Man City players.
Mm-hmm. So up on screen at the moment is a team that I just randomly put together on Monday or Sunday evening. It doesn't really matter. And it was just a bunch of players, basically. There was no formation in mind. It was Pereira of Leicester, Alexander-Arnold, Otamendi, Lundstram, Tomori of Chelsea. And then we had Son, Mahrez, De Bruyne, Yarmolenko and Mount. And then a front three of Vardy, Callum Wilson, Abraham. Now this is all based on the fact that if Mahrez wasn't to play, then you would be able to bring in one of the strikers or midfielders or whatever combination possible. But you know what? I mean, I'm not tempted by that at all. But certainly looking at that team is just a bunch, like I said, it's just a bunch of players where you would have to be figuring around who's got the best particular formation or whatever. But you're liking that, Charlie, are you?
Yeah, I'm really liking it. I like the Pereira pick as well. He's after, because I'm going to get off, because I've got 2 Liverpool defenders, Van Dijk and Trent, so I'm probably going to get off Van Dijk. Well, I'll see over the international break, what happens with my players in my team, but I want Pereira. But yeah, all the other players are, like, you got Yarmolenko, massive differential, Mason Mount, a really good strike force as well. Amazing fixtures for Vardy, Wilson and Abraham. So yeah, it looks really good, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I'm almost certain to be doing the wild card during the international break, unless Gameweek 8 throws up something like a 70-80 point score, which is very, very unlikely, particularly the way my season went. Charlie, did you watch the Tottenham game last night?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Can you explain to me, in simple terms, why on earth Tottenham lost 7-2, barring the fact that they're playing Bayern Munich?
It worked out quite strange because first half an hour I thought Tottenham were really good. They went 1-0 up. Son scored. He should have had another one, really. But yeah, Tottenham's defence just looked awful. Honestly, like, they kept giving the ball away. Aurier, that's the worst game I've ever seen him play. That Serge Gnabry every time just ran straight past Aurier, and Aurier didn't look fit, or he was just out of it. And players like Alderweireld and Vertonghen make a mistake, you're having a bad game, and yeah, they got punished. Yeah, Tottenham were pretty bad defensively.
I read an article out earlier on. I don't know if you were here or not. I mean, yeah, you were. I read an article from Football 365, essentially just basically saying that Tottenham are going just one way, which is south. Do you agree with that? And do you think that their place of the top 4 is actually in danger to be conceded to a team like Leicester.
Yeah, definitely. I think you made the point the other night about their away form. They haven't won in ages. I can't remember that. I think the last game they won away from home was not even Southampton away last season. No, yeah, it's been ages. They've just looked really poor. When they concede, the heads go down. And yeah, like apparently there was stuff. What was it on Twitter? Apparently, Ericsson or Jan Vertonghen was.
Oh yeah, we don't need to go into that,
but even stuff like that, I think it's just a mess. It's honestly a mess. It doesn't look good if I was a Tottenham fan.
Yeah, I mean, Matt,
just not winning away from home is just don't look good.
Matt Henley coming straight in there saying that will Poch basically last the season. Your thoughts? I'll ask Kev that. Kev, your thoughts on Pochettino lasting the season, and do you think he'll actually probably leave, and then maybe Solskjaer gets sacked and Poch is straight into Man United?
Oh, I haven't been following, what the backroom at Man U are wanting to do, but Spurs are definitely causing, reasons for concern. But the quality's there, especially attacking wise. Spurs haven't had that many attacking players where they don't have to play Son and these week in, week out. They can rest, they can rotate. They're definitely building up depth. I don't know what's going wrong. Like, I love Spurs. They're my second team. Like, they play how I want Newcastle to play, like we did it back in the Keegan era and that. So I don't know what's going on with a lot of these big teams. But yeah, Spurs, if anyone, to me, are a different level to Man U in that. Like, you look through that Man U team and you can see why they're struggling. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's players in there that I wouldn't have in the Newcastle team, to be honest. And that's doing something where, Spurs are dripping with quality. So is it not just a matter of time before it clicks? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, like I said, the teams at the moment that are quote unquote challenging for top four are Arsenal, West Ham, and Leicester. They're the teams within reason in form. I mean, Charlie, Arsenal are up at home against Bournemouth. Arsenal's record at the Emirates versus these poorer teams is excellent. Your thoughts on maybe Aubameyang? Again,
that's what
I failed.
I was thinking of that.
Yeah, Aubameyang as captain. Go on, give us your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I was thinking, because Arsenal's fixtures are pretty mad, and especially home form. I know their away form's a bit dodgy, to say the least, but at home, I think last season they won 5-1 against Bournemouth. I think it was a night game. Aubameyang got one, but I think as Lacazette's not going to be playing, he could. I mean, especially if they can just get Pepe playing, because he's still doesn't look right. He's looked really poor, but that Saka, who obviously you and Jason never heard of, like that young player, like he's a really good player, like Aubameyang
4.5 as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he's only he's just turned 18 as well. He's
a midfielder on the game.
Yeah,
crazy option if he's going to start.
Yeah. But would he start for? Is he a first teamer, or is he? Why did he play on Monday? I don't know who he is. So did he start the game? Did he come as a sub?
He did. Yeah, he started. He played. Emery played him in the Europa League game against Frankfurt the other week, and he got 3 assists.
Wow.
So yeah, he's got quality. I mean, he's literally only just turned 18. So
I'll instantly ask this question. It's completely mad, but is this Saka worth a punt as a Kevin De Bruyne replacement for this particular game week, Charlie?
I can't see why not. There ain't. I mean, I like to hear what other people's opinion, but this week I don't like I said earlier. I don't really see a main standout as a midfielder. So yeah, 4.5. I mean, he should start. They haven't. I don't see. I mean, I thought he had a good game against. I watched the game. I thought he had a good game He's got pace.
Lively, wasn't he?
Yeah, trickery. He can score a goal. So yeah, I can't see why not. 4.5. That's a massive differential as well. And like you said, Arsenal like to attack at home.
Would it not concern you or would it concern you if he started in the Europa League, or is it just the fact he's 18 for crying out loud? He should be able to start 2 games in a row.
I think I'm not sure because with the formation, I think they're playing a 4-3-3 at the moment. Where they've got Nelson. I mean, he's not playing Caballos. He's on the bench. So yeah, they got Nelson, Pepe, and Saka on the wing. I can't really see. It obviously it depends of Europa League, but I think he should start. He's looked really good. I mean, he's looked better than Pepe, and that says something. So
okay,
for what 70 odd million.
So yeah, I'll ask you, Kev, first. For a one, in fact, you know what? Before you two answer, we'll ask the chat. So chat, listen right now. We're gonna do a Jason, which is we're gonna do a live vote on air. For a 1 week punt, if Kevin De Bruyne is 100% ruled out, which it looks like he will be, is Saka a player who's up against Bournemouth, who Arsenal, in fact, I'm looking at Arsenal's recent history. Essentially, it looks like it's going to be a 3-1 victory to Arsenal. Do you think that Kevin De Bruyne out for Saka as a 1 week punt is worth it? So everybody in chat, just give me a Y for yes or an N for no. We'll do a Jason. Let's see what people say. I'll ask you, Kev, your thoughts on that instantly. What would you be putting? Would it be a Y or an N? Well, there you are there, straight away, a Y. Charlie?
I'd put a Y. I can't see why not.
I'll put for the armband. That's the differential this week. Saka for the armband. Let's do it.
I mean, it seems 50-50 at the moment. There's a lot of Ys and there's a lot of Ns. I mean, Paulie straight away. There's better players out there. There is, but when we're looking for midfielders which we can instantly swap to and that have got a decent fixture, I mean, FPL Mechanics straight away is saying only if he's confirmed starting. Yeah, I completely agree with that. A 4.5, I mean... God, you're tempting me. You are tempting me at the moment. It does sound like it's a one-off. I mean, I'm looking at Aubameyang, so Aubameyang will be up there for captaincy choices this particular game, and his record versus Bournemouth in the last 3 is played 3, scored 3. So I think maybe... Oh, goodness, if you're not going to go for... I mean, who was you originally put captaincy on Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, haven't you, Charlie? Now he's been ruled out. Who are you now thinking of putting as captain? Aubameyang?
Well, it would be Aguero, but I'm just so the way he's he's doing all these weird rotation with Jesus, playing Aguero in the game, which I thought Jesus would play. Yeah, it's just really messing with my mind, to be honest. But yeah, I'm probably going to get Aubameyang in, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure, but he would be an excellent option, especially his fixtures are class as well. You'd bring
in Aubameyang what, just as a straight swap for Aguero?
Aguero, yeah. I'd leave the. There's no way I'm taking De Bruyne out of that team. He'll be back after international break.
Oh yeah, absolutely. How much did you spend on? I mean, how much is your selling value on De Bruyne, Charlie?
I'll say that again. Sorry, you cut out.
How much is your selling value? So mine's 9.7. I think Jason's is 9.8.
Well, who's that for Aguero?
No, Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, De Bruyne. I don't know. I bought him at 9.6.
Oh, so you'd be 9.7 then. Same as me. So you're only really losing out on 3 million, and the fact that he may potentially go down in price with a lot of people maybe selling him is unlikely. But yeah, I'd be like you. I wouldn't be getting, even if I was to do a wild card. Kevin De Bruyne is staying in that team no matter what. I wouldn't be moving him whatsoever.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think that that Hicks making the point there that to find that 0.3, depending when you brought him in, it's it's not too much, thankfully.
Yeah, I'd definitely be keeping him. You know, if he's back after international break and you've took out him for say Mahrez, you're going to want De Bruyne back in because he's got 9 assists already. So
yeah, the Kev brought up a point about Pookie maybe a potential captaincy option this game against Aston Villa. Your thoughts on that, Charlie?
It could be an option. I mean, he'll probably score, but you know, Aubameyang, even though Pookie had that hat trick, and you know he's had a goal and assist in games, I just think Norwich have. I don't think they're going to be winning at home like every single time. I think they are going to struggle. I mean, it's going to be Villa are going to want to win as well because you know they're down there. But I think I'll probably do Aubameyang and he'd just be a more big.
Yeah, I want to bring in Staz. Staz has been pretty, I'm assuming it's the same person, pretty active in the chat room at the moment. So Staz, you've just come in the waiting room and you've just muted your mic. Please unmute your mic because we are going to bring you live on air right now to hear your thoughts because I want to hear this. Staz, welcome to the Breakfast Show. Just need to unmute your mic. There we are. Staz, are you there? A 3, a 2. Staz, are you there? No, he's not. What a shame. He wasn't there. He was there and he unmuted his mic, but then he wasn't speaking. Brilliant. Just a quick final thought, Charlie, from your point of view. Are you looking forward to game week 8?
No.
Okay. Why?
I just think it's going to be a really bad week, to be honest. So yeah.
In what sense? What are you basing on?
I think it's going to be low scoring. So yeah. Hopefully not. Despite
some really good fixtures regarding Arsenal away at home to Bournemouth. Man United potentially, even though they can't seem to score, away at Newcastle. You've got Man City at home to Wolves, Chelsea away at Southampton. You're not confident in a high scoring game week at all?
No.
Okay.
But hopefully it will be a good one.
Interesting.
But we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Charlie, all I can say is thank you for joining us on your first ever breakfast show, my friend.
Yeah, cheers, Steve.
Cheers, dude. There's Charlie there, aka One Rovers Blog, aka Chicken Tikka Mo Salah. FPL Boona's live on the breakfast show. Good morning, FPL Boona.
Good morning, Steve. How are you, mate?
More importantly, how are you after last night? Do you want to tell us about Tottenham? What on earth's going on?
I don't know, mate. I didn't even watch the game last night, if I'm honest with you. I genuinely didn't, and I'm so glad I didn't. I'm not even annoyed or angry. I'm just like what is going on kind of thing. I don't even know myself. Like you were saying, I was listening earlier and you were reading out those statistics from, was it Football 365 or something? About, a team League 2 team losing to a Premier League team 7-2, they'd be disappointed. It's exactly the same situation. It's embarrassing. I don't really know what's going on. I'll take it for Watford. This is depressing. I don't know what's going on, mate. It's not looking good right now. As you know, I've got Kane and Aurier as well. And right now, I'm not feeling massively confident about it, as you can imagine. And with Son starting last night and starting at the weekend, will even play at the weekend. Honestly, if I'm honest, this will make some people maybe feel better about their own teams. I've started to not... It sounds bad, because I love this game. But I've started to not care as much, and I'm hoping that if I make my decisions without too much overthinking, hopefully my fortunes will turn around. But generally, given Spurs and everything, yeah, I'm not too happy, mate. But I'm not going to kick myself over it and be depressed. There's no point. There's bigger things in life.
Yeah, can you just expand your thoughts on why you're not enjoying the game? Because I've got things that I'd like to say myself. But your thoughts.
Say again, buddy. You cracked up there.
Your thoughts on why you're not enjoying the game at the moment, and just generally why you're, let's be honest here, sick of it.
just I feel like a lot of the decisions I'm making, like 50-50 decisions, none of them at the moment are paying off. And obviously, you know, I'm not saying all the decisions I've made have been the right decisions, or even on the face of it, logical decisions. For example, De Bruyne to Son was always...
Oh, Booner's completely been Boone.
over the green at the moment, and I know many people will might disagree and say, look, you're having luck off the bench, but it's not about that. If you look at my game week scores and my game week ranks, I've not gone under 1 million game week rank this season, and it's like, what is going on? But what really, I mean, I've got a sore throat, so I wasn't going to come on, but I had to come on because
Booner, you are.
and
I know you're on the road and everything. You're breaking up really, really bad. I'm afraid. It's.
am I?
Yeah, it's kind of like every other sentence you're kind of disappearing. But what I will say is that this season, the lowest you've been after game week 1 was 1.3 million. The highest you've been is 827,000th. It's kind of tells its own story, especially after last season, after having such a good year.
Yeah, exactly, mate. It's depressing. Can you hear me at the moment, or is it still cracking up?
No, we can persist. We'll do a you. We'll persist. No, you carry on.
So, I'm really tempted to get in Aubameyang and captain him.
Who would you bring in? Get rid of, sorry.
Mane.
Mane, but that would require a hit.
Yeah.
So who would you get rid of in your...
The other move would be Wickham to Saka.
Saka?
Yeah, Arsenal Saka, 4.5.
But then what striker would you be getting rid of? Because Mane isn't a striker. Oh, sorry, Aubameyang is... Yeah, Mane isn't a striker and Aubameyang. So you would get rid of Kane, I'm assuming?
Yes. No. So Mane and Wickham.
Oh, Wickham, sorry. Right, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Mane at home to Leicester.
Yeah, I mean, the history for Mane is actually decent, but the fixtures following it aren't, and Aubameyang's in form right now, and that's the easiest way, you know, I feel I can do it. I know it can backfire, but like I said to you, Steve-O, right now, I actually don't care.
Yeah, I mean, Kev, I'll ask your thoughts on that particular move. Mane and Wickham out for Aubameyang captain and Saka of Arsenal.
You're cracking up there, Steve-O. What's the two transfers again?
Wickham and Mane out for Saka and Aubameyang as captain.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. As we've been talking, I'm probably gonna do Aguero to Aubameyang as well. Just looking at it, and I'm not copying you, Boona. I wish I'd wrote it down, but yeah, I like that move. I like.
Yeah, I know you're not copying, mate. No, I wouldn't advise anyone to copy me, to be honest, pal.
No, but it's a good move, Boona, and what I'm looking at there is, if you go Aguero to Aubameyang for next week for the Bournemouth game at home, I'd then be looking to switch Aubameyang to Kane for the Watford game after the international break. Now I wanted to do the switcheroo early in the season, but once again, Bournemouth at home for Aubameyang, and then you get Watford at home for Kane the next week. That sounds very tempting.
What are your thoughts on that, Boona? What are your thoughts on that, Boona? No, Boona's unfortunately, Boona has vanished off the face of the planet, I'm afraid. So,
what do you think of that, Steve-O?
Well, I'm thinking, do you know what? That sounds to me like a really, really good move, but I personally don't like doing these swapping and changing and, this player is a good fit, so let's get rid of him for him. But someone last season was doing this, and I think it was something like 18 game weeks in a row. They were constantly getting the big hitting scorers. And I mean, who has Arsenal got the following particular game week after Bournemouth? It is... Arsenal away at Sheffield United. That's going to be tough. Oh,
it's tough,
wow. That's... You know what, Kev?
The fixtures are nice.
Oh, Boona's back. Yeah, it's just Harry Kane though. Is Harry Kane back in form? Boona? Do you think?
I would say he's closer to it. He's actually not looking too bad, mate. He's still dropping deep, but he's getting a lot of chances. So I'm happy to own him for now, personally. I'd be going forward with Kane, Aubameyang, both of them together.
Nice.
Wow. So a front two possibly of Kane and Aubameyang. Oh my goodness, that.
And Pookie for now. But Pookie will probably leave after this game week if he blanks.
Yeah, I think he's on his last legs. Let's try and bring on Mental Gamer. Mental Gamer, you just need to unmute your mic and we'll bring you live on air in a 3, a 2. Mental Gamer, you're live on The Breakfast Show with Statman and Boona. Good morning. Mental Gamer, are you there? Oh.
Good morning, Steve. How's it going?
Good morning, my friend. We're all having this discussion about Aubameyang out for Kane, then Kane back to Aubameyang and all this malarkey. Your thoughts on this swapping and changing for the decent fixtures?
Yeah, so I've actually sort of rage hit the wild card this week.
Really?
I'm not sure if that's... Yeah. Should I put my pre-wild card team in the screenshots? Just so
if you put it in the team screenshots, yeah, the pre-wild card, and then put in the old new wild card.
It's mental.
Yeah, so that's my pre-wild card team.
Right, okay. Let's bring that up.
And then I'll show you my current draft.
Right, so let's just bring that up. So for people listening in on audio, the team was Matt Ryan in goal, Rico, Söyüncü, Van Dijk, Aurier, Salah, Sterling, De Bruyne, Son, Pookie and Barnes. And then who is this wildcard team? This is the interesting one. Have you been influenced by Jason's thought process of 3 midfielders? I'll ask you, Boona, before we get onto Mental Gamer, your thoughts on Jason's 3-man City midfield.
It depends on who, though, doesn't it? Like with De Bruyne right now, a doubt for this weekend. Sterling, slight rotation risk. Mahrez, rotation risk. Like, I don't like that. No, not for me.
So, Mental Gamer has posted up his, I'm assuming it'll be a 3-4-3, yes?
Yeah, it would be a 3-4-3.
We've gone with Söyüncü, Matip and Otamendi, flanked by Lundstram and Rico, and then De Bruyne, Son, Yarmolenko, Sterling, and then and who is it? Oh, whoever it is for New Aston Villa, it doesn't really matter. And then a front three of Aubameyang, Pookie, and Abraham. I mean, obviously, why did you rage a wildcard? Just of interest.
Mainly because Aurier was my transfer in last week.
Right.
I brought him in for a hit, and I'm a Spurs fan that went to the game. Trust me,
it wasn't quite for a hit, but and also mainly wanting Aubameyang. And the way my team was structured before, if you look, I couldn't have got Aubameyang in without dropping a midfielder down, which would have meant a hit. My only sort of things with my new team is obviously there's no Salah or Mane, so I haven't got any Liverpool attacking options.
Well, a lot of other podcasts, not that I listen to many, but what a lot of the talk is saying that you may not need Liverpool so long as you've got Man City, because Liverpool assets, you're not really going to be captaining them. I'm not really a fan of that particular strategy, but.
Yeah, the only things I would like is, obviously, I'd like one of Liverpool's fullbacks. I'm a Liverpool fan. I'd like Trent. Matip's only really a placeholder at the moment. I mean, I see he's got flagged anyway. But and Pookie as well. I'm not sure about... I mean, if I leave Pookie in my wild card and he blanks on the weekend, I don't know. He'd probably be looking at a transfer out anyway.
Yeah, so looking at this particular team right now, the wildcard version, which of this is definitely going to stay no matter what by Saturday?
Aubameyang, Abraham. My defence, I like Lundstram, Otamendi. Matip's probably going to go. De Bruyne, if he's fit, I'm sort of waiting to hear on news on him.
He won't play. I just can't see him playing.
I think if I'm on wildcard, I might as well leave De Bruyne in. I don't know.
I've seen you've got $1 million in the bank.
Yeah, there's no one really in the midfield though that I could use that money for. I guess it would be maybe Pukki to Wilson. Could be a shout.
Do you know what? I mean, instantly I'm thinking maybe that could be the best option. Arsenal's defence are in absolute shambles, and it wouldn't surprise me if Callum Wilson actually came up with a goal. But again, it's almost like waiting for this 1 week to go, and then maybe selecting Callum Wilson for his fixtures ahead. I mean, I think you've wildcarded almost at the wrong time. Because the international break obviously is after Sunday.
Yeah, same. I when I wildcarded, I straight away thought I should have just waited until the international break. But it was just Aurier sending off, as well as a mediocre week. I'm sitting around 1.1 million, I think, something like that.
Same as me.
Yeah. And I mean, my highest this season was only about 300k, but it's just been wrong captaincy every week. To be honest, I always pick the. I mean, I had a lucky captaincy the other week with De Bruyne, getting me a vice captain 34 points, I think it was. But it's been nothing.
Yeah. How confident are you with this particular wildcard team?
Getting Aubameyang in definitely makes me... So my main changes with this team is Aubameyang and Abraham. I didn't have those before. I've had Son, who I think is actually still at a good differential level at the moment. But it's just there's certain players that I'm still missing that would make me hesitant, such as Mason Mount for Chelsea. Haven't got him. Or Salah or a Liverpool fullback. That's the only sort of issues. And as well as the goalkeepers, I'm not sure what to do, whether to upgrade to Pope or just stick with Matty Ryan. I'm not sure.
Mental Gamer, I don't actually recognise the name here. I could be completely wrong. Have you ever been on the show before?
Yeah, I've never been on a stream before. I've been sort of a lurker. So I've been watching the channel sort of since the start of the season.
Oh, wow.
Really enjoying the podcasts. Sort of, great entertainment value, especially the other week with Jason taking a 16 point hit. That was good. But yeah, I've never been on stream.
So this is the first time you've been live on there. What are your thoughts ahead of? We've had a
Sorry, just breaking up.
We had a Charlie coming on saying he's not really looking forward to this particular game week. He thinks it's going to be low scoring. Your thoughts ahead of game week 8? Are you thinking it's going to be low scoring, or do you think it's going to be a decent game?
No, I actually think it's going to be a decent game week. I'm looking at some of the big hitters fixtures. Son has Brighton. Even it's away, but I mean, I know how Spurs played last night, but surely they're going to be looking for blood against Brighton after that.
I'll stop you there. Booner, are Tottenham the kind of team that will be looking for blood or not?
Sorry, mate, you cracked up again. I think it's just Discord, but repeat yourself, sorry.
I was just saying that, do you think Tottenham are the kind of team that will be looking for blood and will go out and to try and destroy Brighton?
No. We're rubbish, mate. We are absolutely rubbish. Out of interest, whilst we're on the topic of Tottenham, did Mental Gamer or Statman or yourself, Steve, I imagine not yourself, did anyone watch the Spurs game last night? I didn't, but out of curiosity, did anyone?
No, I only saw the highlights.
I'm just interested to know how Son did, because from what I've seen of him since I brought him in, he's been terrible. And I'll tell you what, I reckon this weekend, whilst you guys think that it might be a relatively decent scoring week, I think we're going to see some really high-profile benchings this weekend. And I wouldn't be surprised if Aguero and Son are two of them.
Why do you say that?
Mate, Son's not looked good. Mora's a bit fresher. Son scored last night. I just don't know how he played. That's why I'm interested to know how he played. The team look exhausted. I was listening. I was in between. I was watching, listening back to Gillette, midweek kind of commentary of the scores. And I think it was Paul Robinson, the ex-goalkeeper, commenting on the Spurs game. And he was saying how exhausted Spurs looked. And I think there's going to be some big benchings at the weekend. I really do.
Paul Lee is saying that Son had chances last night and was a lot further forward than Kane. Unfortunately, that's been the story of this season so far, but Son doesn't seem to be at the moment. scoring the goals. Gabriel Derop saying that Son didn't look too bad. I mean, we all know what Son's all about. He's just an engine at the end of the day. Mental Gamer, overall though, are you happy with this wildcard team?
I'm definitely happy simply because I've got players who frightened me before, such as Aubameyang. Not having Abraham, obviously he's highly owned. It's just now about sort of fine-tuning it, deciding whether I still want a Liverpool attacker, deciding if I want... I mean, I'm going to keep Son, and I actually I'd go with the counterpoint against what you guys are saying in terms of the international break. I think players won't get rested because they're gonna obviously have an international break, and that, give them rest then. So I think Son will play. I think, most of the big hitters will play aside from maybe De Bruyne and Aguero. Obviously played most of the match last night, I think. It's getting in the players, with good fixtures such as Aubameyang. I really think he is going to be, for now, I mean, he's got 24% ownage, but I think with his fixtures, he just looks almost essential. He's not blanked yet, I believe.
I would agree. I would agree.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But it's the fact that he's not bringing in double-digit returns, whereas other players at cheaper prices are bringing in a similar equivalent points as Aubameyang, if not better. For example, Callum Wilson springs to mind.
Yeah. So I think with my team now, the only changes that I'll probably make before the deadline would be Pookie to maybe Wilson, because I think even though Pookie at home is great, away from home he hasn't done anything apart from the Liverpool game, which I actually watched, and he was a threat. And I'd like to find money. I'm not sure between Yarmolenko and Mount. So obviously Yarmolenko is cheaper, but a lot of people own Mount, so that's obviously a risk in mini leagues. But yeah, it's just you can't have everyone, can you? You can't have everyone. So
no, I've got a bit.
It's just getting balance.
Just a bit of breaking news. It's not anything to do football-wise, but it is about this podcast / someone that we're in association with. So, Peter from Tap Sports. Tap Sports is a website in which we use for our predictions on Thursday evening, and the individual that won the September Manager of the Month award, essentially. Basically, Peter's trying to get in contact with him because there is some money that you've won, and it's Gav, an Aston Villa fan who watches the show. He got to Tap Sports because of this specific show, hence why Peter's here. If you are out there watching either live on the replay, can you please check your emails? It may be in the junk emails, for all I know, but you have won some money. So there we are, Peter there. I thought I'd just quickly bring you that there. Metal Gamer, have you got any final thoughts before we let you go?
Not really, just obviously thanks for the streams, great content, and yeah, hopefully, wish you best of luck in the coming game weeks.
Cheers, dude, really appreciate the kind words there. There's Metal Gamer there, the first time caller, and it was a very, very interesting caller. Hopefully we get him back live on air to see how his team did. I think I'm going to call it a day, to be honest with you. FPL Boone, have you got any final thoughts before I finish the stream?
Sorry, mate, did you ask me something? You cracked up again.
I was just wondering, have you got any final thoughts before we, basically before I go off air?
I just wanted to... I think I just wanted to echo Charlie's point about Saka actually, by far, outplaying Pepe. I think it's something worth considering. And I think FPL managers should look into it a bit more like they did with Cantwell when he first burst onto the scene. I think he could be a gem. But that's it, yeah, thank you.
Cheers, Booner. There's FPL Booner there with his final thoughts. Saka. Somebody to look at, maybe Kevin De Bruyne, a straight swap to Saka for 1 week only, especially in my particular case. Statman, the same question to you. That will annoy somebody in chat. I'm reading your comments. Statman, have you got any final thoughts before we let you go? Kevin, you there? No, it must be the wife. There we are. That's the end of today's breakfast stream, everybody. We've had some fantastic, like I said, not down to me, it's down to you lot as the callers. I only do this stream because of you. I couldn't care less, to be honest with you. I'll only go on for about an hour. Actually, John Harris, that isn't actually quite true, is it? We all know that's a load of nonsense. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to call it a day, but certainly there's a lot of subject matters to be mulling over, especially regarding this young man here, Kevin De Bruyne. What to do with him? I don't think he'll be playing. I'll quickly bring up the tweet that was sent out by Fantasy Football Scout, but I will certainly, well, Keyboy, I will tell you now, if you want to come live on air to gloat about how well you're doing in the Cash Mini League, you've got about 30 seconds or so to get into the waiting room. So if you want to come in the waiting room and come live on air to talk about your team and how well you're doing this particular season, I'd love to get you live. In fact, I was actually hoping you'd be coming on. But if you're not on in the next minute or so, then you've missed your opportunity, because I've just seen that you've basically just joined into the thing. But yeah, anyway, back to what I was saying. Pep Guardiola essentially has said that he'll definitely be fit after the international break, but I don't think he's going to do the Wolves game. I think that would be too much of a risk. Too much of a risk, basically. To play him against Wolves. That's my opinion. And the chat today has basically been about who to swap Kevin De Bruyne out for. Certainly as a straight swap, in my case, to whoever that particular player may be. Mahrez has been mentioned, David Silva, Saka, as FPL Boone has just brought up. Saka, if anybody's listening, is the Arsenal youngster that got the assist for Aubameyang. Got 3 assists in the Europa League game, has been absolutely tearing it up, and sounds like a very, very exciting prospect for people to be looking into. Again, it's just a 1 week punt. It's Bournemouth, no disrespect, but I'd like to think Arsenal should score goals, and Charlie making the point about Aubameyang maybe being a captaincy option. Again, we'll look at the history, but all I can say is that Aubameyang in his last 3 against Bournemouth has scored 3 times. Maybe that's something. But what I will say is that it looks like I am going to be wildcard. And we had Mental Gamer on 30 seconds ago. He came on live on air to discuss his wildcard team. And he was basically saying, I'll just quickly bring it up again. His wildcard team, essentially he wanted to bring in, Aubameyang. And that's who he's got. His front 3 of Aubameyang, Pukki and Abraham. He'd be going with a 3-4-3. Essentially, the 3-man defence would be Soyuncu, Matip and Otamendi. And then De Bruyne, Son, Yarmolenko and Sterling. And up top, like I've just mentioned, would be Aubameyang, Pukki and Abraham. And for me, I'm looking to wildcard myself. But that'll be during the international break. And I may potentially do a wildcard special, which actually reminds me, talking of which, it's the community team. So the community team, unfortunately I can't bring it up. But, in fact, yeah I can. What am I on about? It's in the Discord, isn't it? The team screenshots. I can bring the community team up. So the community team is basically what you guys run, essentially. You guys make the decisions on what this particular team does. Here it is here. And yeah, a lot of the community team decisions are made in the poll votes on the Discord. And for anybody that's wondering what on earth the Discord is, look at that. There's a screenshot for your Daily Llama. Arrows everywhere. What on earth's going on there? Blimey, let's just quickly get that. Oh, I've just gone to cancel it. Oh, that's embarrassing. Oh well, I can't bring up the thing because I've just gone and stupidly oh, there we are. What's going on with the computer here? Right, let's bring that back up again. Yeah, this is the This is the screenshot of the community team at the moment. Again, I know FPL Lad. It's a shame we couldn't get FPL Lad on screen. FPL Mechanic with some real breaking news. Bernardo Silva is charged by the FA. I'm assuming that's over the racist tweet, or the supposed racist tweet he sent out. Okay, interesting. Very, very interesting indeed. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. In fact, Resi Desi, Andy, let's go and bring that up actually for the poll vote. So on screen at the moment is the community team. For people listening on audio, FPL Lad, I'll just mention you then. It's Nick Pope in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Aurier, Otamendi, Digne, Salah, Sterling, Cantwell, Son, Callum Wilson and Pookie in the bench. Don't worry about it, it's a load of rubbish. Essentially, they brought in Aurier and Otamendi in for Wan-Bissaka, and I completely forgotten who it was, but it doesn't really matter now. But to make decisions regarding this particular community team, you go into the poll vote in the Discord, and that is up here. So I'll just bring it up on screen right now. I'm sure it's there. Yeah, there it is there. Just here, a poll vote here on the left-hand side. Let's see what votes are in there. Here we are. Right then, here's the decision for you lot, everybody. So this is a live poll vote at the moment. If you want to go and vote for this particular community team, by all means. So Andy/Phil. Phil is also the other administrator for this particular team. But do you guys want to make 1 free transfer, 2 free transfers for a -4, 3 transfers for a -8, or do you want a wild card, and that's option number 4? Me personally, I don't take any participation in votes, and I don't want to be influencing your decision, my goodness. But there is the poll vote up on screen at the moment, so I highly recommend getting the Discord. It's on the left-hand side. It's the menu poll vote here. And then, of course, then we base our other decision-making based on what you guys are thinking about regarding this particular, well, whatever you would call it, decision-making here. FPL Mechanic, regarding this Bernardo Silva move, and Paulie, there could be a potential 6-game ban, Paulie is saying. FPL Mechanic is saying a big fine or a game ban. So does that make Mahrez an even bigger appealing player to bring in for a straight swap for Kevin De Bruyne? Wow. Who knows? And that's very interesting news. Thank you for that information, Paulie and FPL Mechanic. Really appreciate that. It's very, very good indeed. Very, very interesting. Right then. I'm ending it. There we are, John Harris. I'm now officially ending the stream. So I'm going to quickly go for the admin, and away we go. Yeah, I mean, Scott's Fitzgerald straight away saying that it's ridiculous. Even Sterling says it's just a joke. Unfortunately, people don't put things into context in this world anymore. They all seem to take it out of context and simply put, I don't have an opinion on it, but it's been clearly taken out of context. Right then, let's get on with the admin. This is the boring bit. So for anybody that's now deciding to walk out and going, you're finished now, I'm gone. Before you go, hit that like button. The easiest way to support the show. So we get a hell of a lot of people messaging myself and Jason privately asking, your show's amazing. Why isn't it so big? Why do nobody talk about you? And the easiest way for you to help us is one of several ways. Number one, the easiest way, this is the easiest way possible, is hitting the like button. So on the old phone here, just have to cancel the chat, and there it is in big letters, like. All you've got to do, the easiest way to support the show is hitting the like button. Also, hitting the subscribe button. I've seen quite a few people have subscribed today. Simply put, if you are a regular watcher and you haven't subscribed to the show, just hit that subscribe button. We are a growing channel. People are really, really enjoying the content. We are virtually a daily show. I try and do these morning shows for our Southern Hemisphere fans, so essentially the Australian and New Zealand audience. I also hear from people in South Africa say they enjoy the breakfast shows as well, because it's a decent time for you guys as well. So I try and do the breakfast show as at least once a week. Keyword being try, but due to work commitments, these things can't be done every single week. But like I said, I try. Yeah, the easiest way to follow us about when we are going live is through Twitter. Admittedly, Twitter is down at the moment. We found out earlier on why my tweets weren't going sent through. It's because Twitter is down. Surprise, surprise. But at Elite FPL on Twitter, at Elite FPL on Instagram, friend of the show and of course former co-host Dan. He is now in charge of our Instagram page, and yeah, that's at Elite FPL. I highly recommend people visiting our website as well, elitefpl.com. It's all got good stuff on there. Other than that, I can't think of any other admin apart from this. Tomorrow evening, 8:30 p.m, myself and Jason are going to be going live for our preview of Gameweek 8. You'll be able to find out what Jason has done with his transfers, what his team selection is. It's the same, and his captain choice, of course, exactly the same for me. But more importantly, it's this. Predictions. I highly recommend you guys listening into the preview just for the history alone regarding captaincy choice. Like I said, 7 game weeks in a row, the history has got the captaincy spot on. So whatever the history suggesting to you to do, Aubameyang, I highly recommend if you're an Aubameyang owner to captain Aubameyang. I do find it funny though that a lot of people are coming on show saying I've hit the wildcard button, I want to transfer in this player, I want to transfer in that player, and I've got those players and yet I'm still doing rubbish. What are you doing right that I'm doing wrong? I don't know. Anyhow, all I can say is thank you so much for joining me this morning or whatever time it is across the world, and all I can say is this. Have a good day, and I will see you on tomorrow evening at 8:30. Cheers guys, and yeah, take it easy.